Okay, cool. Get ready. Here we go. Prepare yourself. What I'm about to tell you, it may ruin your. Could ruin a couple lives. um, it could put you through a thought contortion, for a little bit. But this is just an idea, so don't take it too seriously. Don't take it too literally. But the idea, I've labeled this idea I labeled it the meat factory, which essentially, for example, let me give some context. I was recently watching 1960s footage of Japan and the Tokyo factory and the education system in Japan in the 1960s, and how it basically, like, people were conditioned to work, and that was it. And it kind of shone some light on why maybe they have a slight problem over there currently with the whole, the population situation that they got going on, whatever. Anyway, it kind of got me thinking. It reminded me of an idea I had a long time ago, which essentially is the meat factory, which is the idea that God made the factory, or whatever it was, universe, whatever you want to call it, made the factory in which humans, the soul, whatever you want to call it, is produced, and then, like, made his money and walked away, or made his money and like lives in a different city in the top of a skyscraper. And essentially, it's just a factory, and nothing. There's no like sacred design behind any of it. It's just like a machine, factory line of just production. Now that's a pretty, like, dark way to think. But when you see, like, the expendability, I guess you call it, of human life, and the lack of, what would you even call it, and the I don't know what you'd even call it. I can't even think that up. This is why you shouldn't take any of these thoughts seriously, because these are things thought up by a dummy. But essentially, so when you look at like this, on the street, for example, you walk past 100 people, you don't even recognize their face, you don't even remember their names. In war, like, people are just literally like completely, decimated by warfare, and no one has any idea. No one even, and it's like, all those people who have lived a life where they literally were, like, conditioned to go to work, like in Japan, and then die, and that's like it. And maybe they don't even have any, like, kids, or their family will die. But it's just like every single person has this is the counter to that, which is that every single person has an intricate story. Okay, and not everyone can be special. The equation would be off kilt. So essentially, no one is, but like a few people, and it depends on your definition of special. Like, because special to me is like, what I mean by that is not necessarily that they in like they're special, but I mean like talented and maybe well known by more than like 10 people, if even that. I mean, some of us, I don't know how many people like really know of you. You don't really know that. It could be a lot of people, but nobody realistically, if you were to disappear, how many of them would, like, even really know or pay any attention to that? Probably, like, who knows? It's unknown. But it's kind of a dark way of thinking, maybe even nihilistic way of thinking about things, but it's an interesting thing. And imagine if that was the case, and it is the meat factory scenario. That's kind of an interesting perspective. However dark, it's worth a thought. And maybe then, maybe that would be a driving force, I feel, to push people further. But who knows? You believe in what you want to believe.